What's up guys, Avenue here, and today I'm going to explain all my old farms. So this is a sea pickle farm. The 1.0 version of my sea pickle farm produces 130,000 sea pickles per hour. It uses this slime shifting floor to have maximum efficiency, but it only uses one dispenser. This layout is inspired by Silent Whisper. You can check out his channel. I'll put a link in the description. He's a great guy. And I'm using a 4 game tick clock or 1 tick repeater clock to move the floor back and forth constantly to break the pickles. And I don't know for real, observers are stupid in Bedrock Edition. If I switch it to a trap door, it might not work well. Yeah, it does bone meal the sea pickles, but it will not work well as you might expect. So, if we use trap doors, as you can see, the timing is inconsistent. And if I use the canopy / take MSPT, so to set it to 500 MSPT, you can see that it's inconsistent. Wait, yeah, it is. It's bone mealing the sea pickles as the floor is shifting, and we don't want that. And we have to switch it to something else, so I gotta have to reset the take speed to 50 MSPT, and we're gonna use a piston instead. And that is way better than using a trapdoor, because observers are really stupid on Bedrock Edition. So we gotta slow the game down by a ton just to see the difference. You can see this activates the same time as these types. You can see the left redstone line activates the same time as the middle one, and the right one also activates the same time as the middle one, so it's consistent. And for the shulker box unloaders, using something, yeah, it does not use dispenser powder snow, just uses observer. I might reply to my uncle first, but I will still, as I'm replying to my uncle. So we have a comparator that detects, it reads the contents of the shulker box. Right now it has 236 bone meal. If it runs out of bone meal, comparator would turn off, and then the torch would turn on, activating the sticky piston, which pushes out an observer, and that causes the piston to be destroyed. And when the piston is retracted back, the torch would turn on due to soft inversion, and that will cause the dispenser to dispense a new shulker box, and then this comparator turns off and the torch would turn back on. Well, sorry, the torch, yeah, I'm a stupid guy. So the comparator will turn on, not off. It would turn on, then the torch would turn off, and then it will track that piston. Yeah, I'm a stupid guy. And yeah, the box unloader, it works on both sides. So now it's time for the Pale Moss farm. As you can see, it uses a 6 game tick clock to push the stone blocks. That way we don't have any bits of cobblestone in our stone generator. We don't want cobblestone because it's ruining everything. It ruins everything because pale moss does not convert cobblestone to pale moss. Alright, I'm using pale moss because it has a spreadish area of a 5x5 minus the 4 corners. As you can see, try to build myself a dirt platform of a 5x5. Might need to build it up in the air, just so you can see. And it doesn't even include the center as well, excluding the center. So I might need to build myself a 7x7 to demonstrate the differences between moss and pale moss. Right now, this is a 5x5. I might need to expand the platform, and then we could show you guys. Yeah, I can show you guys the difference between moss and pale moss spreadage area. So I gotta find the center block, and yep, everything turns out great actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh shoot! I built myself an 8x8. I am so stupid. It is an 8x8, not a 7x7. Cause I am too stupid. I am a stupid guy, please. Just don't mock me in the comments. But I just admit myself that I am a stupid person. So, right now, this is a 7x8. So we gotta strip off that layer, that side right here, so I can show you guys. So, right now, actually, we gotta use a moss block to see how, wait. So we gotta use a moss block to see. A moss block, oh my gosh! I've grown myself an azalea tree, ow! Jesus! So, my god, restart, start over. So I think that's enough. Right, this is the spread area of a regular moss block, a 7x7. But for pale moss, it's a 5x5. Oh shit. Oh shoot, I have messed up so bad that it could have deserved a... yeah. I might need to just completely wipe it out. My thought is gonna spread these guys. Oh my gosh, I just have to do a lot of cleaning with the water. Doing a lot of cleaning is just such a pain. It is painful to do a lot of cleaning just to show you guys the difference. Oh my gosh. And then for pale moss, I assure you it is smaller. The spread area is smaller. It's a 5x5. In Java though, it's 7x7. It's such a massive difference, and I have no battery. My phone is almost dying. So, right, this is how far pale moss spreads. Whoops, forgot to destroy that moss carpet. It will not spread any further than a 5x5 and excludes the 4 corners I just mentioned. So this is the spread area of a pale moss block, and this is the spread area of a moss block. As you can see, the spread area of moss is significantly larger than pale moss. There is a difference. So we're using a 5x5 stone generator to spread the pale moss, and these blocks don't have pale moss on top. That is because we have target block dispenser and pale moss, as well as a hopper right here. That affects a lot of stuff. So just want to destroy the whole thing as dude and then we have these, the binary counters. These binary counters control when the dispenser will be dispensed as well as the water. So for the water, the lamps will turn on. The reason we're using redstone lamps is because we want the items to get flushed in the collection. And yeah, we want the water to stay in here for longer, so the items will get flushed in the collection area. And right here, when the copper bulb is on, when this one is on, that will turn on the comparator, turning on the repeater and the redstone dust, which will turn on the 2 lamps, activating those observers and then powering the dispensers. Now, it's powering through the stone blocks. As you can see right here, it's actually powering through the stone block that's generated inside of that stone generator. And here, at the same time, this copper bulb turns on and that comparator turns on, which will activate the bone meal circuit. So you can see right here, the bone meal circuit is on, and then the water is unflushed, and here, yeah, everything cycles. And here we're using the 2 corners as the collection. We're using obsidian to prevent everything from messing up. So we have the mud as the mud to, collect the items, because mud's not a full block. You can see in the right side or in the left side, you can see there's a difference in the Y value. So this is a Y value of 69, so it's 70, so there's a difference. And to be more precise, in canopy is 69.88, and when I'm standing on that stone block, it's 70.00. And this allows for the hopper to suck up the items through the mud, and it will be composted, turned into bone meal, and then go into this dropper, and that dropper will dispense the bone meal into the shulker box. As you can see, this auto dropper system right here, I might need to dig just to see the whole thing in action. So this is the sticky piston. And how this auto dropper works is when the comparator is on, it will trigger the piston, the redstone dust, and then trigger the sticky piston, which will push the block up. And when the block is pushed up, because there is nothing to power the piston, that sticky piston retracts. But then that block gets, I'm just too confused. I don't want to talk that fast, just to confuse myself. So right here, when the block is pushed up, the comparator is, has nothing to power through, because the piston arm is not a solid block, and that will turn off the redstone dust, and that causes this sticky piston to retract. And when it is retracted, it can power through the grass block again, turning on the redstone dust, and that's 4 game tick cycle. And under the comparator here is an observer that's pointing into the block, which will power the dropper to funnel all the items into the shulker box. And right here we have a shulker box loader. This is a shulker box loader. I might need to dig just to see. Good for you guys. So yeah, that's not what it's supposed to be. Well, yeah, this This is a shulker box loader, and that piston will destroy the shulker box when it is full. So when the shulker box is full, the comparator lights up, turning on that dust which will power the piston. And because there's no shulker box, the comparator would turn off, turning off the redstone dust and retracting the piston, turning on the redstone torch, dispensing a new shulker box. And yeah, it's not on yet because this redstone dust is on top of a redstone block next to that comparator, so it only detects when the shulker box is full. And this time I can't stick any blocks, so I might need to switch my game mode to spectator mode just to let you guys see. After the shulker box is destroyed, it will go into this water stream and into this bubble elevator, and it will be pushed by the piston, and the item will land on the hopper. So there's a string system right here. Yeah, it uses a string. So I might need to destroy this slab roof just to let you see. But whenever you step on string or an item touches the string, it will send a block update that the observer can detect. So right now I'm using canopy, and when it's string, this powered bit is false. The disarm bit is also false because it's not in the tripwire. So yeah, the powered bit is false. But when you step on it, the powered bit becomes true. And when you get out of it, the powered bit becomes false again. And these two actions will cause a block update that can be detected by an observer. And here we're using a system that's when the bone meal is being dispensed, the redstone line is being activated, the dispenser will dispense the bone meal, and that target block will cause that redstone torch to turn off, retracting the piston, and at the same time will dispense the bone meal to the pale moss. And when that redstone line turns off, that torch will turn back on, powering the piston, which will destroy everything on top of it. And for the shulker unloaders, it's slightly different. So right here, we're using this intricate setup with bells. When the shulker box is empty, the torch will turn on, powering the bell, which will power the piston, the observer, and then the block, which will then activate the piston to destroy the shulker box. And when the piston retracts, the torch will turn back on. The dispenser will activate, dispensing a new shulker box, and then the comparator will turn off, turning on. The comparator would turn off. The redstone torch would turn on, and the bell would deactivate, and the observer doesn't do anything. And right here, we're using another redstone torch, and then we're having a 2-tick repeater and a solid block to lock this hopper. So when the shulker box gets destroyed, it will go into this barrel instead of the actual bone meal circuit, which we don't want. This is the longest video by far, because I had to go through everything just to explain all these shenanigans to you guys. And this is a regular moss farm. It's a bit noisy because of the bells. Right here we have 2 of these 8 game tick clocks. So these clocks work by when the torch turns on, the repeater turns on, and then this redstone dust will power the block, which will power the piston to not destroy, but to turn off the torch, and that will result in that clock. Originally, I wanted a double stone generator, but it seems impossible at first, so I decided to just use this instead. And here we have a cake, not to eat, but for that. So the sticky piston will pull up the sand block, and then the comparator will turn on for a slight moment, and then that will pulse the hopper counter, which will control this pulse extender to dispense the bone meal, and also turning, also retracting the piston for a set period of time, so that the items can get flushed into the collection area. And this also happens on the other side as well. Now right here, we're using a bell, because bells act as conductive blocks in Bedrock Edition. So this bell gets activated and an observer detects it, and that will trigger this redstone line to destroy everything top of that moss block. And here we have this bone meal replenishing circuit right here. Then we have a dropper to actually replenish the bone meal to this dispenser. So there's an observer that will power this dropper right here, and that is controlled by this circuit, the same circuit that controls the bone meal dispenser. And yep, the same thing also goes on the other side as well. So it's like this. Here we have this double piston extender that uses walls, trapdoors, and redstone torches to push the stone blocks 2 blocks at a time. So this double piston extender only pushes blocks and not pulls the blocks like a standard double piston extender. This one only pushes the blocks, so gotta use this. Yes. So we are using the regular piston on the front, sticky piston behind, and that redstone torch, trapdoor, cobblestone wall, or any other type of wall. It doesn't have to be a cobblestone wall. And an observer. So it can only run in a cycle of 8 game ticks. If it's shorter than 8 game ticks, it won't work. So you have to wait at least 8 game ticks. Or if you run this on a clock, like I did, you have to run this on an 8 game tick clock in order for the double piston extender to actually work. Yes, it only does that. And we're using yet another shulker loader. Basically, when this redstone would that comparator turns on, the redstone dust will turn on, and the piston will push down, destroying the shulker box and funneling into this chest. This shulker loader is the same as this shulker loader, but this shulker loader is less visible because the shulker box is actually hidden. So this is the end of my video, and it's the longest video by far in my channel. So please subscribe to my channel so we hit 100 subscribers. And that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching.